Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Planetarium show. My name is Jessica. I'm the director of the Planetarium, and with me tonight is one of the students who works there who might be a familiar face if you've been to any of our streams in the past, but I will still let him introduce himself. I don't know that your volume is coming through. Do it again. Um, Yay. Hold on. Try again. Why is it not working? Give us 1 second, folks. All right, try again.
Testing, testing.
Okay,
1,
that's
2, 3.
working, so we will stick with that.
All right, cool.
All right, sorry about that. We don't have any technical issues, so I always feel like we're kind of due one every once in a while. Anyway, back to the show. Hi, everyone. We are in the last day of June, which I honestly can't believe. But that means that it is time for our What's Up show, where we will show you what's going to be up in the sky in July. Eli is going to be telling us all about that tonight. And before I hand it over to him, of course, as always, if you have any questions throughout the show tonight, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'll be keeping an eye on those and we'll let Eli know when they come up. Otherwise, we'll have time at the end for questions as well. All right, Eli, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome. So let me make sure that the window comes through right. Oh, can you enable screen share?
Oh, crap. I meant to do that earlier, and then I was doing other stuff. Okay, there you go.
Alrighty. Oops, sorry. Okay, can you see that? Does that look good?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So what's up, July? So we'll take just kind of a short tour through a couple different things you'll be able to see this month, as well as some news in astronomy or upcoming events at the end. First off, we will start with talking about the moon. We're kind of jaded now because for the last 3 months we had supermoons, eclipses, a bunch of cool stuff going on. Not so much this month, but it's still worthwhile to talk about the phases of the moon and know what is happening when, so that you can get outside to check out the different phases. So here we go. Sorry, hold on, my Windows looking a little wonky to me. So the full moon, actually let's start with the new moon. The new moon is going to happen July 10th. And it's going to rise super early in the morning, set pretty late at night. And after the new moon will come the first quarter, which is going to happen on July 17th. It's going to rise right after noon and set very, very late in the, well, I suppose it's going to be early in the morning. The full moon will be July 24th, which will rise just about as the sun goes down, actually, or just a little while after, and set early in the morning. And July's full moon is called the buck moon, and I ran into that. That's because the most aggressive growth of buck's antlers is happening in about July. So that's why it's called the buck moon. And kind of went in a little bit of reverse order here, but the third quarter moon is the one we have coming up in a couple days. That's going to happen on July 2nd. It's going to rise pretty early in the morning and set in the afternoon. The progression of it will go, third quarter will happen in a couple days, then new moon a week after that, then first quarter a week after that, and then full moon a week after that. So if you want to take a picture or something of the screen right now, just so you know which phase is happening when, you can do that now. Give you just a second. And then after the moon, we'll talk about what some of the planets are up to this month. So first up this month, Mercury will be visible in the east, kind of northeastern sky early in the morning, usually most visible at around 5 a.m., getting closer to 5:30 a.m. towards the end of the month, before the sun rises. And because when the sun rises, Mercury is still present in the sky, But once the sun comes over the horizon, it's going to greatly outshine Mercury, and you won't be able to see it anymore. So there's kind of this delicate balance of when you can see it, when Mercury is over the horizon, but the sun is not. And this month, that's going to be, like I said, about 5 a.m. in the east-northeastern sky. The next planet out from Venus, or from Mercury, is Venus, and Venus will be really easily visible in the west-northwestern sky in the evening for the majority of the month. And it's kind of the opposite of the Mercury thing. So the Venus is still going to be there, but when the sun is above the horizon, it's going to outshine it again. But once the sun goes below the horizon and Venus has not yet, that's the right time to see it. So Venus will be pretty easily visible in the west-northwestern sky for the majority of the month right after sunset. Additionally, Venus and the moon will meet each other very closely in the sky on July 11th, just after sunset. So about a week and a half from now, I'll be watching the west-northwestern sky, and Venus and the moon will be extremely close to one another out there. And if you get really lucky or you have access to a telescope or binoculars, Mars will also be there just to the left of Venus on the same night. And for a good part of the month around July 11th, Mars will be around Venus in the night sky. They kind of move in a little bit of different directions, or they move at different paces. So they'll deviate away from one another after some time, but around July 11th, Mars and Venus will be particularly close to one another. And on the night of the 11th specifically, Mars, Venus, and the moon will be very close to one another in the night sky, and that will be a very, very new moon. Then late in the evening of July 13th, Venus and Mars will get just about as close to one another as they will get. So grab some binoculars and find them hugging each other in the west-northwestern sky again at around 10 p.m. That's going to be July 12th and 13th. They'll be the closest to one another that they'll get. Another cool highlight this month will be the triangle formed by Jupiter, Saturn, and the moon later on in the month in the evening sky to the southeast. So they'll be in the same region of the sky together for a few days, but the moon is going to be traveling in a different direction, and it's going to pretty quickly leave the area of the sky that Jupiter and Saturn are in. But Jupiter and Saturn will stay in very close proximity to one another in the southern sky all the way into August and for some time after that as well. I would recommend viewing the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn next to each other around the 24th, 25th, 26th. That's when they're going to be closest. And around that time, they're going to form an almost right triangle, as you can see here in this image. That's going to look pretty cool. That's the formulation on the 26th. So the image before was the 24th. On the 26th, you'll see that Jupiter and Saturn are going to kind of move towards the southern horizon, and the moon is going to be moving east. So it'll kind of zip past them. So that's what's going to be up with the planets and the moon this month. Another cool thing I want to talk about is we've got a couple meteor showers this month. So probably the highlight for this month is going to be the Alpha Capricornids. Those can be seen in the southern sky. The peak is going to be the 28th and the 29th, pretty late in the evening or early in the morning, depending. And like I said, southern sky, like pretty dead on south actually. And those are it's a pretty appreciable meteor shower. Not the most eventful one that we'll get throughout the year. I believe it said the peak rate was 10 meteors per hour, or 10 events per hour. But it's a pretty cool one to see. And then we're kind of on border territory right now because we're also going to be seeing the beginning of the Perseids late in the month. The Perseids are one of actually the most fantastic meteor showers throughout the year. But the peak of the Perseids is going to be in August. I believe Jessica and I are talking about this, August 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around there. But you'll still be able to catch them late in July. And so for our purposes here, talking about what you can see in July, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, you'll be able to see the Perseids in the northeastern sky. There won't be as many events per hour as there would be when the peak is happening, but you'll still be able to catch them. So get out and try to see them too, if you like.
Another thing to point out, I'm noticing in your images, the moon's there.
Yeah,
which could cause some problems, especially for the other one, the Alpha. Yeah, Capricornites.
yeah.
With the moon shining bright, that can drown out some of the dimmer meteors. So you would only see the very brightest, which may make the number of events per hour a little bit lower than the estimated, 10 to 15.
Right. But the cool thing actually that we're seeing here is the moon at the 28th is going to be, I believe, well, actually, hold on. Let's take a look back at the little guide I gave myself. So at the 28th, the moon is going to be somewhere between full moon and third quarter, somewhere in there. So talking about how the peak of the Perseids is going to be around August 10th, 11th, 12th, that's going to be the time that the moon is actually in its like new phase and it won't be outshining the Perseids as much. So it's kind of lining up perfectly for us that the moon won't be super prevalent in the sky when the peak of the meteor shower is happening.
Which is going to be great.
Yeah, and I don't know, Jessica, if you want to talk about any plans, maybe save that for the end, or
Um,
I'll zip my lips. I'll let you
yeah,
know.
no, I can go ahead and talk. So, as some of you may know, we, for the past 3 years, have in August done what we call our Dark Sky Caravan. The first 2 years was this whole big engagement. It's been fantastic. Last year, we moved it to virtual because of the pandemic. And this year, we're doing more of a hybrid event where we're going to have some virtual events, but we're also going to have some star parties, some in person star parties. The details are still being set, the locations for the star parties are still being set, but we purposely planned it to have the star parties happen during the Perseids, during the peak of the Perseids. So we will have that information out for you soon, but you can to spend those nights out stargazing with us and learning from us while we experience a hopefully awesome meteor shower.
Right. So yeah, pretty cool coincidence happening there. What a quinky dink. So the next thing I want to talk about is ISS Passovers. And if you are like me, you looked at that wall of text and said, no, thank you. So there are a lot of ISS Passovers going on this month. Some of them pretty great, some of them not so great. This is all of them, and I definitely would not encourage you to try to catch all of them because some of these will be pretty not fantastic. So I grabbed the three Passovers that I think are going to be the most impressive. And those are right here. So you can take a picture right now if you want to, or nab these dates or something like that. But these Passovers are just when the International Space Station is going to be visible in the night sky in Duluth. The most impressive out of all of these is going to be the second and third one, because at that point the brightness is, well, you can see they're negative 3.9, but that actually means that it's brighter than the first one, which is negative 3.8. So those are going to be the brightest occurrences of the month. And this information comes from a website called Heavens Above. Jessica, I don't know if you linked it in the show or not.
Yes, I did. It's linked in the video description.
Right. So Heavens Above is a really cool website that tells you not only when the ISS, but when other space-faring vehicles or object vehicles isn't the right word. Well, I suppose in some cases, but spacefaring objects are visible in the night sky. Definitely go check it out. It gives you tips on when to catch what. And the other thing I would say, because also if you're like me, you look at the coordinates and you wish it was easier than that to find stuff in the sky. There are a lot of apps on your phone that will help you find these things. We talk about them all the time at the planetarium and talk about our personal favorites. My personal favorite is called Sky Guide. I do believe it costs $2, but it's an augmented reality. You walk outside with it, hold it up towards the sky, and it tells you where to look to find what. The other really cool thing about it is it gives you notifications. So I will get a lot of notifications when the International Space Station is flying overhead. So if you're awake at, some of these are happening at 2 in the morning. If you're awake at 2 in the morning, your phone will start yelling at you and tell you, hey, go outside, check it out. It's going to be up there. So that's my tip. I would definitely get one of those apps. There are free ones that do exactly the same thing, but it's just you use your camera, or not your camera, you use your phone and you hold it towards the sky and it tells you where to look. It kind of shows you what you're looking at in the sky. Definitely get that. It'll make finding the ISS a lot easier. So those are the kind of best ISS Passovers this month. And the last things I want to talk about, there are a couple of space news things going on. The first one, so many of you may know that SpaceX and NASA have been working pretty closely together with SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft that either deliver cargo payloads or people to the International Space Station. Some of you may know that Boeing is doing a similar thing. NASA is also working with Boeing to create these space capsules that will deliver payloads to space. And their second test flight is this month. There are no people in it yet. Their first test flight happened not too long ago, I don't think. There were some malfunctions with some electronics, so that kind of bogged it down. They're trying again, hoping that things go better. There will be more news on that as it comes out, and we'll be sure to share it. But so Boeing's spacecraft or space capsule, their second flight is happening this month. And also to the chagrin of Skywatchers, SpaceX is sending, I believe, 120 more Starlink satellites into space this month. So you've probably heard of the controversy about this. SpaceX is creating a net of satellites around the Earth in low Earth orbit to increase like broadband, like internet and satellite. I guess I don't know the best way to describe it. Basically making satellites or covering more area with, like, I don't know, how would you describe it, Jessica?
It's making internet access accessible anywhere on the earth.
Right, right.
Which I want to just say, we're not opposed to this as far as the benefit that rural communities will have.
Oh, no.
Rural communities have an incredibly difficult time getting internet access, and this is going to make it a lot easier. And I bring this up, I don't know if anyone watching now saw it, but I ended up doing an interview for a news station down in the Twin Cities, and they kind of twisted my words to make it seem like I was against the satellites at all. Whereas we're just saying, yes, there are benefits, but there are better ways to approach this, which are things SpaceX has started to look into and trying to make make them not as reflective, so that we don't have the issues that we have with the interference and like our images and stuff. Sorry, I kind of just wanted a moment to like clarify that, because I was really upset with how they spun me in that piece.
Right. Yeah. So, not a bad thing at all. They make it, they make internet much more accessible to many places on the planet. There's just a balance going on between the effects it has on our ability to view the night sky. And SpaceX has actually been acting like very proactively and very, I would say, admirably to approaching this problem. And I am excited to see how it pans out. But 120 more Starlink satellites going up this month. Also, the last thing, today is International Asteroid Day. So it's kind of an event put on, I believe, by the United Nations, if I'm correct, if I read enough information on it. But NASA and other space news outlets and agencies are doing various events for it. NASA's specifically can be accessed at the link at the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, they're giving a lot of comprehensive information about what are asteroids, what risks do they pose, what risks do they not pose. It's just a pretty cool educational opportunity for people to learn about asteroids, because there's a lot of stigma around them and also a lot of misinformation about them. So it's just kind of a good opportunity to learn about them. Also, NASA, I wasn't able to include it here, but NASA did a live stream, I believe, for Asteroid Day. NASA makes their events pretty accessible. You can go to NASA's website. There's a NASA Live section. That's where you'd be able to find it on their website. NASA also has YouTube channels where you'd be able to access it. So if you're interested in watching the live stream, it's pretty lengthy from what I remember. It was a couple hours long at least. But if you're interested in that too, NASA did put that on. But this website here is pretty comprehensive. It has a bunch of different tabs for different things for Asteroid Day. So happy Asteroid Day, everybody. June 30th every year is International Asteroid Day. So happy Asteroid Day.
Yeah, I feel like we need to make sure we have a calendar because I didn't know this until I saw the NASA post today.
Yeah, I had no idea that Asteroid Day existed. But yeah, happy Asteroid Day. So I'm going to stop sharing now. That's all I have.
Very cool.
There we go.
All right. So I don't have any questions. We do have a comment about how meteor showers are their favorite, and with the Perseids, they can see them over the whole sky. And I think that's more a testament to just how active the Perseids are. That you just do see them kind of everywhere. And I am definitely looking forward to them this year since I know we're going to be out in some dark spots. The moon's going to be mostly gone. It's going to be a good Percy. It's just got to keep fingers crossed for weather to cooperate.
The first and most spectacular shooting star I've ever seen was during the Perseids. And I you might remember, Jessica, because I like lost it when it happened, but it was our first. It was our first dark sky caravan, or at least the first one I'd been on. And we were at Voyager Brewing Company in Grand Marais, and we had the telescope set up like out on their like deck patio thing. And I remember because I was helping someone look in a telescope, and I like stood up for a second, and like just out of the corner of my eye, it looked like a firework went through the sky. Like it was so bright, and it was fantastic. I will never forget that. It was so cool. But yeah, the Perseids are pretty gnarly.
Yeah. And so like I said, we've specifically picked our dates for the Dark Sky Caravan to correspond with the Perseids, which is what we've done every year. As for locations, we don't have specifics yet, although we will have at least one in Duluth, where we'll go out and have a star party somewhere around Duluth. We'll have one probably in Grand Marais, since that is a major stop for us usually during the Dark Sky Caravan. And then we're looking to end the week up at Chickawauk, which is at the end of the Gunflint Trail, the like darkest skies ever. It's going to be an amazing time up there. What we're actually going to have during these star parties, we'll know more about as we get closer to the event, as we watch kind of vaccination rates and COVID cases. At minimum, you'll have us with our laser pointers that can give you a live tour of the sky. If things are looking more favorable, then we might also bring out some telescopes for people to look through. That's where we're still kind of waiting to see how things are, because obviously having a bunch of people share a telescope, look through the eyepiece, that could be some problems, and we just want to make sure that we keep everyone safe that comes out to join us those nights. But we will have more information out about that in the next couple weeks as we get everything finalized. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions or comments. If anyone has them, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. We'll wait a few more minutes to see if anything else comes through. And while we wait, let me tell you about what's coming up over the next week. So, of course, Saturday is going to be our July constellation show, where we'll go through the stars and constellations that will be up this month, stories behind them, and tips and tricks for you to find them yourself. On Wednesday next week, which I guess is kind of funny having Asteroid Day today, because in 1 week we are going to do a show called Doomsday Earth, which is all of the catastrophic ways the Earth could be destroyed. It's meant to be, a fun, lighthearted show, but there's some really cool stuff in there. And then next Saturday, we have rescheduled our Exploring Venus show. For anyone who was looking forward to it last weekend, I apologize. We ended up having to cancel it at the last minute, but we are doing it again, and we have it rescheduled for next Saturday. So you can come and hear all about the planet Venus. Other than that, should I tease it, Eli? Should I do it?
Yeah.
All right. So this news is officially coming out on Monday. But for those of you joining us tonight, you'll get a little sneak peek at what's coming up. But starting Monday, we are going to be open for private shows. We were so excited. So it's not now open yet. It's Monday. We will be open for private shows. But we are finally going to get to have some of you come back and join us in person in the planetarium. There are restrictions on the number of people that we can have, and so all of those details will come out on Monday when the official statement goes up live. But we're so excited! Good first step to getting back to normal. So yeah, look forward to that. All right, well, I'm not seeing any more questions or comments, so I guess we will wrap it up there. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this look at what you can expect, what astronomical events you can expect this month. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you next time. Bye everyone.
Bye.